Welcome back, everybody. It's Amanda, Ridout Health Coach, and we're back with our favorite pharmacist, cosmetic chemist, and nutritionist, Ben Fuchs. And today he's going to talk a little bit about dementia. And we're gonna have a series of videos on what it looks like, what you can do to support your body. So Ben, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Amanda.
I know we've talked about having this discussion before, and we've thrown some things out there, and you have a really great perspective on this. And it's not just dementia; it's everything. It's every system in our body.
Yeah, we'll talk about dementia. The brain utilizes the vast majority of the oxygen, the sugar, the nutrients in the body. Some 25% of the nutrition in the body goes to the brain. So the brain has a certain special significance when it comes to nutritional deficiencies and how we handle our business in terms of oxygenation and sugar and food we eat, etc. But really, when we talk about dementia, we're just talking about deterioration of the brain in the same way that arthritis is deterioration of the joints, or kidney disease or liver disease is deterioration of the kidney or the livers or liver. It's just a generalized deterioration of the body. And that means that the health strategies that we're going to talk about, and there's a lot of them for dealing with dementia, for preventing dementia, are going to apply to folks who have cirrhosis of the liver, or who have arthritis, or who have an autoimmune disease. Basically the same kind of strategies, although with the brain there's a couple other things that you could do non-nutritionally that can help prevent dementia that aren't going to really necessarily help your kidneys or your lungs or your liver. In other words, you can use mental strategies. We'll talk about
nutrition for the brain.
Nutrition. We're going to talk about nutrition for the brain. We're going to talk about longevity products for the brain. But I really want to be clear that these are strategies that will help you with overall health.
Right.
Okay. All right. Now, there's so many different things that we can do when it comes to dealing with dementia. First of all, let me just say that Alzheimer's disease is a specific type of dementia. And I'm going to use the term dementia, and hopefully I won't say Alzheimer's too much, but when people think of Alzheimer's disease, or when people think of dementia, they typically think of Alzheimer's disease, which is early onset dementia. But you can have dementia that's linked to Parkinson's disease. You can have something called Lewy body dementia. You can have dementia that's related to the circulatory system. After people have bypass surgery or heart surgery, sometimes they'll start to lose cognitive function. So all of these strategies are important just for generalized brain health. But if you're dealing with Alzheimer's disease, or you know somebody who's dealing with Alzheimer's disease, or just cognitive impairment associated with aging, these are all strategies that will help people no matter what kind of brain health issue they have, no matter what kind of physiologic health issue they have. But we're going to be focusing on Alzheimer's / dementia. Okay? First thing I want to talk about is something, and this is, we talk about this product all the time. I consider it to be, I don't want to say my favorite longevity product, but it's certainly one of them, and that is the Fucoid Z, also the Z Radical. Fucoid Z and Z Radical are made with something called Fucoidan. They're extracts of a brown algae, which contains Fucoidan. Fucoidan is an incredibly fascinating sugar complex that is most well known for its ability to stimulate the immune system. It's used to treat cancer very effectively. If you go to PubMed or you go to do a Google search, scholar.google.com, and Google Fucoidan cancer, you will get 100 studies that talk about Fucoidan's ability to reduce the incidence of cancer, to stimulate the body's ability to kill cancer cells, and just to support the immune system in general. However, when it comes to brain health, Fucoidan has some really interesting roles to play in terms of neurology, in terms of the health of the brain. Number one, Fucoidan can protect the brain from sugar. Alzheimer's disease is now called type 3 diabetes. And while Alzheimer's disease is called type 3 diabetes, pretty much all brain deterioration is associated with excess amounts of sugar. Sugar destroys cells, and specifically in terms of dementia, it will destroy brain cells via a reaction, called glycosylation. Now, there's a compound that is produced when sugar connects up with protein. This compound is called a glycosylated. Glycosylated means a sugar mess, basically. Think of caramel. Think of melting sugar in a saucepan.
Oh,
you ever
sticky.
Right? Exactly.
And
that
very hot.
reaction, that kind of caramelization reaction occurs as sugar contacts cells and as contacts brain cells, and you can literally have your cells and your brain cells caramelized. via this glycosylation reaction. Scientists have a clever name for these the glycosylation products, the glycosylation of the cells. They call them advanced glycosylated end products, or AGEs. Have you ever heard this term? AGEs? AGEs.
I have heard of AGEs, yes.
AGEs, age. And it's kind of clever because it is really one of the causes of aging. One of the causes of deterioration, one of the causes of degeneration are these glycosylated end products. Fucoidan protects the brain from sugar. It protects all cells from sugar. It protects against the formation of AGEs. It's anti-aging in this way. That's kind of a clever way of putting it, but that's literally what it is. It's anti-aging because it will slow down the aging effects of sugar, and it's anti-aging because it will slow down and maybe even eliminate the production of these glycosylated end products. That's number one. Fucoidan also is an antioxidant, so it can protect brain cells from some of the negative effects of oxygen. Oxygen is kind of a mixed bag. Obviously, the brain utilizes oxygen. It's very oxygen dependent, but excess amounts of oxygen can act like sparks. And so keeping oxygen from being too active, from sparking, if you will, is the role of antioxidants, and Fucoidan is an antioxidant. So that's a second mechanism that Fucoidan has for protecting the brain. Fucoidan also, interestingly, will protect the brain against the effects of oxygen deprivation. So it protects against excess oxygen or against free radical oxygen,
Right.
and it also protects against oxygen deprivation. This is one of the beautiful things about nutrition. It kind of has a balancing effect. So it will protect from too much oxygen, or oxygen sparks, if you will, and it will protect brain cells from oxygen deprivation. The more stress we're under, the more difficult it is for the brain to become oxygenated. This is one of the problems associated with cortisol. And it's kind of like a circle, because elevated stress hormone, that's cortisol, can reduce oxygen, and elevated cortisol, reduced oxygen can elevate cortisol.
Right.
So you get stress hormone reducing oxygen, which increases stress hormone, which reduces oxygen, and you get this vicious downward spiral. Fucoidan has a protective effect against oxygen deprivation, which can be induced by cortisol or by poor breathing techniques or by clogged, sticky blood, which is another benefit of Fucoidan. It helps thin the blood. So Fucoidan will protect the brain against oxygen deprivation effects, and it will facilitate oxygen as well as other nutrient delivery to the brain as well by thinning the blood. This is perhaps Fucoidan's most important. It's hard to say what its most important property is, but one of its most important properties is its ability to thin the blood. You know, we're always talking about dirty blood as being the precursor to all disease. All disease is preceded by thick, sludgy, dirty blood. The blood becomes sludgy and dirty via toxicity, mostly from foods that we eat, but also from sugar. Drugs can do it, pollutants can do it, etc. Lack of oxygen will thicken the blood as well. Lack of nutrients will thicken the blood. Fucoidan has a blood thinning effect. So you have 4 major benefits for Fucoidan, which you'll get in the Z radical, which is a liquid Fucoidan. It has a little bit of sugar in it, so I usually like people going with the Fucoid Z, which you don't get the sugar, and you get a more concentrated Fucoidan product in the Fucoid Z. It's a capsule. So you get 4 major benefits. Number 1, it protects the brain against the ravages of AGEs, advanced glycosylated end products produced by sugar. It has a blood thinning effect, so it will increase oxygenation to the brain, improve nutrient delivery to the brain. It protects against oxygen deprivation, and it also has an antioxidant effect. And that's just one supplement that you use. Of course, if you're using Fucoidan, you'll get all kinds of tremendous other benefits, immune system benefits in particular. It'll help you with your joints if you're dealing with deteriorating joints. Remember, anything that helps the brain is going to help the rest of the body as well. Anything that helps the rest of the body is going to help the brain. So you get multiple benefits. You get benefits for the whole body with Fucoid Z, Z radical, with Fucoidan. And then specifically for the brain, you get those 4 major benefits. Use your Z radical, use your Fucoid Z, and eat seaweed wherever possible. You can go to Asian markets and get all kinds of varieties of seaweed.
Wow. Okay, and that's just one of our amazing products.
Correct.
And we are going to do several segments where we're going to address longevity products and how they can come along and support a person in the prevention of maybe the dementias, but maybe sometimes it comes into the support of when somebody may already be suffering with this, and it just comes and gives the body that extra help it needs.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
exactly. You can use Fucoidan, Fucoid Z, Z Radical to prevent
Yeah.
dementia. But also, if God forbid you're starting to lose cognitive function, you're starting to deal with some of the effects of dementia or Alzheimer's disease, you can use it to mitigate some of the effects. You can use it to reduce the symptomology. You can use it to improve brain health once you're already dealing with dementia. So personally, if I knew somebody who, I don't know anybody, but if I knew somebody who had dementia or a loved one who had dementia, I would be giving them the Z Radical every day.
Absolutely.
Or the Fucoid Z.
Well, we actually use both of them every day, and
Radical's tasty. I gotta say, it's super tasty.
I know. Well, thank you so much, Ben. Everybody, stay tuned because we are going to come with a whole lot more information for you. And Ben, we want to thank you for this, for sharing this with us today. And we'll be seeing everybody in the next segment.